What it do, bruh? Talk of the town, Nintendo, Doc Trey, still holding it down, still make the best games, and you know this, bro. It's the truth. You don't like it, you can have that seat up. Wow, so you guys know I had to talk about this. So, you guys don't know yet. Giant Bomb sources have actually told them the details and the specs of the PlayStation 4.5, aka PlayStation 4K. And as I said before, Sony screwed us over. So first of all, the code name for the PlayStation 4K is Neo. So we have Neo for that, and we have the VR as Morpheus. I don't know why I just had a brain freeze there. But anyway, so we got Neo and Morpheus. Yes, Sony is still referencing the Matrix like it is the year 1999. So, so here's the details. So, original PlayStation 4, as you know, the CPU has 8 Jaguar cores running at 1.6 gigahertz. The GPU is an AMD Graphics Core Next chip with 18 compute units at 800 megahertz. Memory is 8 gigs of GDDR5 at 176 gigabytes per second. Now, with the Neo, the CPU is still 8 Jaguar cores, but the clock speed has been up to 2.1 gigahertz. The GPU now has 36 compute units instead of 18 at 911 megahertz. And the memory is still 8 gigs of GDDR5, but now it's 218 gigabytes per second. Now, as you can see there, the CPU that was rumored to be updated has been updated. It's not a super drastic increase, but it's still an update. And first of all, let me read you some of the details of this. So it says, earlier this year, rumors began to fly that Sony released an upgraded version of the PlayStation 4, a console often called the PlayStation 4.5 or the PS4k by fans in the press. Today, multiple sources have confirmed for us details of the project, which is internally referred to as the Neo. No price was provided, but previous reports indicate that the Neo will sell at $399. At the time of publishing, Sony has not returned our request for comment, but we will update the story if the company responds. Now, it says, starting in October, every PlayStation 4 game is required to ship with both a base mode, which will run on the currently available PlayStation 4, and a Neo mode for use on the new console. Games running in Neo mode will be able to use the hardware upgrades to offer increase in a more stable frame rate and higher visual fidelity, at least when those games run at 1080p on HD TVs. The Neo will also support 4K image output, but games themselves are not required to be 4K native. The Neo will not supplant the current PlayStation 4. It's not going to replace the current PlayStation 4, but will exist alongside of it and use the same user environment. The PlayStation 4 and Neo will use the same PlayStation Store, connect to the same online communities, and offer the same user experience. So expect to see the same cross-media bar that you're used to. I don't know why anyone would think that was different. Players will be able to retain all purchases they made on the PlayStation 4. I mean, why wouldn't they? Now, it says Sony seems committed to keeping the Neo and the original PlayStation player bases connected. As such, there will be no Neo-only games. Yeah, let's see how long that lasts. And Sony will not let developers separate Neo users from original PlayStation 4 players while playing on PSN. Likewise, Sony explicitly and repeatedly states that developers cannot offer exclusive gameplay options or special unlockables for Neo players. So don't expect Neo owners to get a level editor or a special Rocket League card that you won't have access to on your original PlayStation 4. Now, that part right there is good news if Sony, in fact, keeps to their word. I have a feeling that eventually that will fade away. And not talking about the exclusive unlockables and stuff like that, but with how much of an increase this actually is, I can see Neo or PS4k exclusive games, maybe not in the near future, but there will be eventually. Mark my words. So for those that don't know too much about this kind of thing, pretty much the GPU has gone from a 1.8 teraflop GPU to a 4 teraflop plus GPU. Now that is a huge deal. Huge deal. Yeah, that's a pretty big leap for a simple upgrade where people thought that it was just gonna be a PlayStation 4 that played 4K Blu-rays. Yeah, have that seat. Absolutely wrong. Now, again, with the increase being this large, I can definitely see exclusive Neo games in the future, regardless of what Sony says. Now, regarding Nintendo, the fact that they plan to price this at $399, if Sony is not taking a loss on this at launch, and that's a big if, that means that Nintendo, if they are trying to get back into the performance game again, could potentially release the NX could potentially be around this kind of horsepower. If that's the direction Nintendo is headed, and also if Sony is not taking a loss. If they're taking a loss on this, the NX may not have this kind of horsepower. But we'll see what happens. But like I said before, you guys might not see it now, but Sony pretty much screwed everyone over. Just like I said, have that seat.